Joining us now to continue our conversation with Jane Elliott is Aisha Chavis. And Aisha, you wanted this conversation to be, you wanted us to reconnect because your bosses at Cisco are talking diversity. So I said, you need to come on and ask us questions as opposed to us asking you questions. So what questions do you have of Jane Elliott?
Well, hi, Miss Elliott. It's very nice to meet you. It's an honor. And
Thank you.
I heard you mention that there's this reckoning that's happening right now. And, you know, I really see that across the corporate America. And you both have this ability to disrupt or burst the bubble of white fragility. And, you know, in corporate America, there's a lot of conversations happening now of people that don't necessarily want to have these conversations. How do we navigate that?
I think what we need to do is start telling the truth. Start masking what is happening with really nice words like unconscious bias and conscious bias and like, white fragility. White people are not fragile. White people have been running this show for a lot of years. Yes, they refuse to talk about racism because if they say something to someone who looks like you, that it indicates that they aren't racist. Yeah, I'm sure somebody has told you, when I see you, I don't see you black. And that you're supposed to say thank you for that because you're supposed to be grateful for the fact that they don't see the color of your skin. Your skin is the largest organ on your body, inch by inch. And anyone who has to deny that they see it is a blatant racist. But they don't understand that. If you have to, no black person ever says to me, when I see you, I don't see you white. What they say to me is, which of your parents is black? And I say, what makes you think that's true? Because what you're saying is coming out of my head. So you must be black. To which I say, if I trace my DNA back far enough, I will find a percentage of my DNA comes from a country in Africa. Because every one of us, our DNA comes from a country in Africa. Africa were the first modern human beings, and they are still the original human beings. It's time to get over this nonsense. We can stop people separating themselves by admitting that we're all the same race. We don't have to worry about racism if we admit that races, the human race, comes in different colors and shapes and sizes and genders and sexual orientations and ages and religions, but we are all members of the same race. So let's stop talking about race and start talking about the truth. Let's start talking about human beings. I have a really hard time when some woman walks up to me and says, I'm colorblind. It's usually a white woman, and she's usually on heels this high. And I tell you, and she says, I'm colorblind. I don't see color. And I say, I knew that before you said it, because if you saw color, you wouldn't wear that shirt with those pants, and you wouldn't have your hair that color. So you obviously don't see color. And she says, you don't understand what I'm saying. Yes, I do. I understand exactly what she's saying. She's saying that in order for her to get along with people of color, she has to pretend that they don't have that unfortunate discoloration in their skin. That's a racist statement. She has been taught to believe in the myth of racism, of race, and the myth of white superiority. Now, a superior person doesn't go around saying that kind of thing. So the minute she says it, I know this is not a superior person. This is a person who is ignorant and has never read The Color of Law and has never read Robert Wald Sussman's book, The Myth of Race, and has not gone out of her way to realize that the map that they used to teach her in school was a distortion of everything on the map. She doesn't realize that because she hasn't looked at. She has, as one of my so-called associates in the Riceville school said to me, when I tried to bring in somebody to talk about human relations, she said, I don't need to know that. I already know enough. I have my degree. You see, if you have a degree, you know enough. You don't have to learn anymore. But what that means is you will only teach your students as much as you know. And if you don't know that there's only one race, you will teach that there are 3 or 4 different races. There's the black race, there's the yellow race, and there's the white race. And of course, the white race is the best, which is all an absolute lie. And we need to stop allowing it to be taught in the schools in this country.
And Aisha, I would tell your bosses at Cisco that if they want to have a dialogue about race, grab a card table and a chair and sit down in any city, in any state, in any country, and actually just sit and talk and listen to people, and you'll find out that there is no such thing as a black person monolithically, or a white person monolithically, or an Asian person monolithically. Everybody's experiences differ from where they were born and how they were raised and how they were educated. And if he wants to actually have a dialogue, meet me in downtown Baltimore or suburban Washington and just set up that card table and wait for people to come and sit and talk, and you'll listen. Or the easier way to deal with it is to talk to Jane for about 15 minutes, and he'll be educated better than anybody I know. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Aisha's next question. Stay with us.